road trip, 2 good wins, starting off against Detroit and Charlotte. Now you take on a tough Philadelphia team. No Joel Embiid tonight. But what should we be looking for tonight? What do they do well?
Well, they're a very good defensive team. They switch a lot. They put pressure on you. They're number 7 in the NBA in turnovers. So we've got to take care of the basketball, and we can't let their pressure stop us from doing what we want to do. Or they're switching, where they try to get you to play ISO basketball, and we can't fall into that trap. But they're good defensively. Obviously, without Joel there, even with him in the lineup, they're like 25th at the rim. So we want to be aggressive in taking the ball to the rim, and we have to drive past the pressure that they put on us.
You've been through a lot as a coach, obviously, in Toronto, in Charlotte, and now in Sacramento. How have you seen the game change, and how has that impacted the way you structure your offense?
Well, it's changed quite a bit. It's crazy the way the game has evolved. I mean, it used to be a mid-range game, and now teams are hunting threes, and it doesn't seem like you can find enough of them out there. But you adapt with the times and the numbers of the game. I think there was that book that was written 7 seconds or less.
Yeah.
That team now in today's NBA would be, I think, 25th or 26th. In pace.
Really?
Yes.
Was that the Phoenix Suns team with D'Antoni and those guys?
Yeah.
Wow.
That team played at a pace right now that would put you at about 26 in the NBA. So everybody's learning how to play faster. We talk about transition and pushing the ball, and you push it with pace to try to create it. Obviously an easy score, but also a mismatch too. If guys can't get matched up to the guys that they want, that's probably. That's some of the reasons we run an offense, is to try to get mismatches against somebody. Yeah. But we can create that in transition. I think more and more teams are doing that. But that's our staple. We want to play fast. We need to have great spacing.
Last year, historic offense in terms of efficiency. Yeah. A little dip this year. Anything to be concerned about? Tell me about the numbers there.
No, I think the numbers that we look at quite a bit are. Where our shots are coming from and the efficiency. Obviously, we're not shooting at the same rate we did last year. Last year, we had 3 or 4 guys that were up around 40% from the three-point line at this point of the season. So that put us in a really good spot. But we think that our shooters are going to come around and make shots. We're just concerned. The thing we watch is, are we taking the right shots? And we are. We are. I mean, our rate for where we're shooting the ball from is pretty similar to where it was last year. We have 2 of the best mid-range players in the game, and in Domas and Foxy, and that doesn't hurt our shot quality or where we're shooting the ball from. So we try to give them as much space as we can and make sure that we put shooters around them.
With Domas, obviously in his second full season here in Sacramento, one of the best passing big men. Yeah. Did you tailor the offense to play through him, or you have a weapon like that?
Yeah, this is an offense that I started with in Charlotte, and we did it. And we had Mason Plumlee, who was a very good passer as well. And it was a natural fit for Domas because he touches the ball pretty much every possession, and we want that. Teams gear up to play against pick and roll. Well, if Domas has it and he flips it to you and we're this far apart, is that a pick and roll or is that a dribble handoff? Mm-hmm. And that's where teams get confused in coverages sometimes. And we want to create that confusion. Yeah. So he's a great playmaker. He's very unselfish with how he distributes the basketball. And, we like playing through him, obviously. If he's handling, the big who's guarding him has to move away from the basket, and that opens up for our other drives. So there's a lot of reasons why we want him handling, but the fact that he's so good at it, it puts us in a good place offensively.
One thing I'm seeing, and I don't know if it's just a recent thing, Coach, or you tell me, but if he gets the ball in the paint, he's looking to punish. And I know that's part of his game, but I feel like he's been even more aggressive here last week or two.
I think a lot of that is matchup based. If he feels like he can go through somebody, he's going to go through somebody and get to the rim, and he's very efficient down low. There's really not an answer for him because he gets that right shoulder and he buries that in. And people that have played against him comment after they look at him and go, "I didn't realize he was that strong."
Right?
Like he's just. And if you look at him, it's not like it's muscle everywhere. He's just so strong from top to bottom. Right. His hips, his legs,
his mass,
everything.
All that. Yeah.
I don't want to run into him. So I can imagine people trying to guard him because he puts his head down and and he goes right through the chest a lot. So if he gets the ball at that point, we want to still cut. We want to make sure that we cut, puts us in good offensive rebounding position. But he's also got to, not just be a distributor. He's got to make people pay.
Right. You're coming off a good win against Charlotte, and Malik, obviously spent 4 years there, so he was excited to get that win. How did you feel about that win? Did you want to kick their butts too, especially since they got us last week?
Listen, man, it's this league is about finding 82 ways to get motivated. And find an edge every single night. And I actually learned that from Michael Jordan. He would talk about that when in Charlotte. That's what he did. He would find something that would get him motivated, whether it was a newspaper article, somebody said something last game, somebody in the crowd. He was going to find a way to use that as extra motivation. And anytime that you play a team that you were once a part of, and there's a lot of the same people there, you want to go away and you want to come back and you want to make a statement. And we didn't get to do that when we played them at home.
Yeah.
And so that doubled it. Malik and I talked about it. He goes, "We get the next one. We're getting the next one." Like,
you guys came in with that.
We came in with, we owe these guys. We owe these guys. We're mad. And then even after the game, we're happy that we won that game, but we're still mad that we lost them at home. So that's part of our drive and that's what this league is about. These guys who play, and I don't think it filters too far away from the coaches too. We're all competitive, competitive by nature. That's what this game is about, is out competing your opponent, and we want to win every time we step on the floor. That game had a little extra meaning.
Yeah, I could feel that watching that and calling that game. Coach, you've been around the league, obviously, coached the Raptors before, Team Canada. What's your best NBA memory? Do you have one, or one game, one moment where you say, you know what, man, it was nice to be a part of that?
I think most recently it was probably, I've been very lucky. I sat on the bench in the front row with the Raptors when Kobe had 81.
Ooh, you were there for that. Okay.
I was an assistant coach, unfortunately. So that's not a good memory, but it's a good memory.
Right,
you know what I mean? I saw Booker. I was on the bench in Phoenix when Booker scored 70. Wow. So I saw Kemba score 60. So I've seen a 60, 70, and an 80.
Wow. Okay.
So I've been part of that. But, there's something about the game last year against the Clippers that went into the overtime.
Yeah.
And both teams were just so efficient offensively. We couldn't stop each other, and it was just a matter of almost who had the ball last in that game, because they were on fire, we were on fire, and it was just a great game. And we came out on top, and it kind of just set the tone for the fact that we could play with anybody and we could really score with anybody.
Yeah, and you bring up that Booker game. That was in Boston, right? I was there for that one. I used to work in Boston, so I was there for that. And then that Clippers game, the thing I remember most about it is they would get a 6 to 8 point lead, and our guys just kept fighting. We kept fighting back.
Yeah, we kept overcoming and kept coming back and back and back, and then obviously we made clutch shots down the stretch too. And it was just I think that was a big confidence booster for us, the fact that we can really score. And I think that kind of set the tone for the type of year we had offensively last year.
Right. All right, Coach, I'm going to end it on this. Second year with the Sacramento Kings. You're going to go down in history as part of the group that helped in the streak. When you go around the league right now, and I've noticed it, I'm in my 4th season with the Kings, it's a different feel when the Kings come to town. How does it feel to just be a part of what we're building here right now?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's true. Like what you said is true. It's like we were talking about it last week too. When Brooklyn came, Brooklyn was playing really well. When they came to Sacramento, we beat them, and then they had to play, I think, the Lakers, the Clippers, Golden State, Phoenix. Yeah. Man, Sacramento used to be the one easy one.
Right, the one you could
go out west and you get an easy one. Now there's nothing easy, and I think that has filtered around the league. Our success last year, people now are looking at us and going, "Oh, geez, we better be ready. We better ready." Like there's no off nights anymore. There's no Patsy coming in here. We're gonna have to play, and it's fun being a part of that because just the belief that Mike has brought to our staff and the players, it has kind of transcended through the community in Sacramento, but also around the whole league. Everybody now looks at the Sacramento Kings a little bit differently than they used to.
What was your relationship with Mike before this?
None really.
None really.
No.
Really?
Yeah. I had reached out after things had happened in Charlotte, where they let Coach Borrego go, and they wanted to keep me there, but Mike had talked to me about coming and running the offense, and he'd seen the offense that we ran. I had coached against him in 2015. He was an assistant coach with the Pan American Games team with the USA, and I was the head coach of the Canadian team. Yeah. We beat them in the semifinals to get to the gold medal game.
Yeah.
But that was the only time we had really kind of connected outside of, hellos in the NBA every once in a while.
Okay. All right. Last question. I promise.
Yeah, no worries.
You coach Team Canada. You see the job Jordi's done. What does it mean to you to have Team Canada where it is right now? A legit, gold medal contender in the upcoming Olympics.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's what we as Canadians and in the basketball community have dreamed of. The last time we went to the Olympics was in 2000 when I was a coach, and we had a really good run. We went 5-2 at those Olympic games, and it was. My whole goal was to try to get them back there again. So for the next couple of years, we tried to get back. And then, the toll of the NBA and the season and how long it is just kind of wears on you. So I ended up not doing it anymore. But to have Jordi do it, I mean, he's got questions for me of what it was like back then. And, I coached a lot of the guys that he's, it's a generation that's kind of moved on, like the Tristan Thompson, the Corey Joseph, and that. But there was still the young Kelly Olynyk and the Dwight Powells and the Melvin Edgems, the guys that are there. I was still coaching those guys for a long time on the national team, and this was my dream for them, was to be able to get back to the Olympic Games. And I'm happy that they get to go back, but I'm also, extremely happy that it's Jordi that's leading them.
Our guy Jordi. All right, Coach, appreciate it. Good luck out there tonight.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Jay Triano.